the fight gonna be like, because you know it's gonna happen. I love it, and it looks like both teams are really gonna get their hands in on that one. Both have kind of a similar amount of power. You can steal ult, but not the most fantastic ultimates. If Pobelter hits 6 early, you might have a huge advantage in being able to steal some level 5 ults.
Yeah, definitely the case. I mean, Sylas can steal the Skarner ult. That can be very big.
Yeah, right.
You know, I do think Morgana, Soul Shackles, if you can get in the middle of the team, can be really powerful as well. I haven't actually seen the Gnar ultimate interaction. I would assume that is just you get the full Mega Gnar ultimate instead of the transform. I would assume you get the sweep. I haven't actually seen that one now that I'm thinking about it. But that would be very powerful, modified by the AP, assuming that is the case.
If you abduct into Big Gnar.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And Soul Shackles as well, right? Like, you can be dashing into the middle of the team. You know, Sylas loves to build his Zonias, which is going to work very well with that Soul Shackles as well.
Teach us Senpai POB. We'll have to see. It is a series 1-1 now with Clutch Gaming taking the longest game of the split. We're in the regional qualifiers now, so it doesn't count for regular season, but this split, Clutch had to go for about 52, 53 minutes to take down FlyQuest, and they answered back in game 2 very promptly. A quick 30-plus minute game, about 35, and we are now on to game 3. We'll have to see what both teams have for each other. FlyQuest feeling good. We just saw them laughing, having fun in Champion Select, and it looks a little bit more of determined faces on the side of Clutch Gaming.
Yeah, it certainly does. You know, Clutch coming into this one, thinking they were going to dominate, thinking they're the heavy favorites, and FlyQuest looking very evenly matched.
That's right. Here we have Avali May on sideline report with Invert this time around.
Thanks, guys. Invert, we just got to hear the FlyQuest chants going on, and actually we have the level 1 fight. Sorry, just wanted to check that out really quick. Yeah, we had the chants going on behind us, but I wanted to ask you, what was the team's confidence like coming into this series? Because we had that close game 1, and then game 2, it looks like you guys came out swinging.
Yeah, I think we have some momentum coming into this series. Obviously, people didn't expect a lot from us, and I hope we've shown with our month of practice that we are ready for this competition and we can be ready for Worlds.
And asking you a little bit about the draft, because going against Clutch, it looks like a lot of teams always have to focus ban the Kiana, ban out the Rumble, ban out the GP. So how does that really affect your drafting process?
I mean, once Clutch kind of gets out of those picks, they kind of falter on their strategies a bit. You know, the macro isn't as good. Damonte can't just give up waves and roam to his side lanes as efficiently. So yeah, it's just taking those picks out is really important, and just the fact that we respect them so much on those picks shows them how strong they are on those picks. So yeah, I mean, just take them out and then hope you can play better. That's the biggest, most important thing.
Well, thank you and best of luck. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Avali and Invert, for the insight here into game 3.
Yeah, very interesting, you know, hearing him talk about, you know, just how important those picks are, but yet Kiana left unpicked, unbitten, right? You know, so certainly did get through. So we are going to see this 2v2 going, and you know, no level 2 for Cody Sun, so there wasn't the trap follow-up. Otherwise, that can be a potential kill. Any binding does have the threat to be a kill, because bind into trap, filter over Peacemaker is then guaranteed, the puddle is under you ticking, and there's the ignite available for Vulcan. So you have to be super, super careful about this. FlyQuest, with that level 1 that we saw, you know, right going into that interview, did trade flashes on the supports, so... Oh. Nice little sidestep there from Turtle. So there is the potential of a gank coming down. You know, to level 4 is kind of usually when, if you're going to look for a gank as Karthus, you come back down, drop the wall of pain for the slow, and try to look to kind of set up something off of that.
Now, is there a kind of all-around Dark Harvest stack where you're like, I'm a great Karthus now? Or are you just always looking to get him, obviously?
Yeah, I think...
Woo!
Oh. Turtle going to be pushed back.
Bad time to ask a question, apparently.
Yeah, there was the combo, right? You know, that's a heal coming out. Did just barely survive, as that was the binding and trap combo. There's not really, I would say, a specific Dark Harvest mark. It's more about itemization. Dark Harvest, you just try to take it whenever you can get it. They are trying to potentially punish this summoner being down, but Turtle's too low, and there's no flash on Wadid, so I don't really know that this is a high percentage play, and Santorin's going to look for it anyway.
It seems to be a summoner play. That's the real here.
But he has no
Dash
flash.
Forward. Pop up, Black Shield from Vulcan. They're going to get the damage in. That's a dead Vulcan coming through with the Ignite as well. And that's the first blood for Santorin. He now has to watch out. That's going to be a double up refresh if they can take him down. Who's going to get those buffs? Could be Huni. That's a big no right now, but now he's in the pile of 3 FlyQuest members. Trades back and forth. Huni does pick up kills for himself, but it's going to be Cody Sun. One more shot. Pobelter gets it and kills all over the place. 6 kills in under 4 minutes.
9 members come down to the bottom lane. The only one not there was Lira. who is up towards that top side. I didn't think this was going to work out, but when Vulcan throws out the binding, they say, let's go.
Yep.
You know, the binding is down, which means that Karthus can't just be taken out by that potential bind. Wall of Pain dropped right onto Vulcan, and he is knocked very low. It was a well-timed Black Shield to stop the knockup, but they just kill him straight through it. Then double TPs come through from both sides, but it is still the extra man here for FlyQuest as the jungler was not there. So yes, Huni goes forward and is able to finish off Santorin, but Santorin gets a lot of damage out in that passive form, and the rest of the squad was untouched, piling in and knocking down Cody Sun here. FlyQuest are more than equal to the task there, 4-2.
Pobelter literally has the same start he did last
Yep.
game, 2-0-1 right off the bat. Spelling great things for FlyQuest. We'll see if they can carry this one on again to mid-game, keep the pressure on.
One advantage, though, for Clutch is that Huni got both of those kills. So they do have a point of power somewhere on the map. And you also have to look at the fact that it's 6 CS on WildTurtle.
Lira's in onto Pobelter. This is definitely going to be him locked up and him going down. It's going to be the smite that takes him out, and Santorin now could find himself in a lot of trouble. That's one slow. Hyper's coming up here with a bit more damage from Huni. He's going to bounce over on last auto attack coming through, and he stays alive with the flash out.
That was really nicely done. Really big swing of pressure there for Clutch, and because there is this 1 kill and 3 assists over onto WildTurtle, you would expect him to be massively far ahead as far as the gold goes, but he only had 6 CS when he actually, everything was kind of played out down on that bottom side. So the gold is actually in the favor of Cody Sun, despite the fact that he didn't get any of those kills or any of that benefit. Clutch now, off the back of these couple kills mid, punishing some of these summoners being down. This is the abscond duck going straight in. Predators pop. They know that there's no flash, no TP available, so that is a big kill. They get the shutdown, and then they see Santorin wandering in here. Karthus very squishy at this point in the game, and Huni able to get the last auto flashed out to survive. Really well done. And with no teleport on Sylas, that meant he was going to lose a wave, crashing into him there too.
Bot lane not looking good. Another stun up here. Everywhere is Lira as he shows up mid, then into the bot lane, having successful ganks at 2-0 now.
That was actually perfect. That was so nicely done. I love how they coordinated the CC there as well. You saw Lira pops the ultimate and then doesn't move him. So there's no way you're going to miss the binding. There's no way you're going to miss the trap. He's guaranteeing that nothing can go wrong on that kill instead of trying to pull him back and hope that your opponent don't have anyone else coming to back them up or anything like that. The CG chain was perfect. They get another kill as an advantage, and this is quite the turnaround off of what was a fantastic early game fight for FlyQuest. Now Huni has 3 kills up on the top side. That is going to make life difficult there for Viper, and Huni's even trying to set up a freeze to make things a little bit more annoying for Viper.
Yeah, it plays out super well now. That ultimate for Santorin is going to be coming up, but the fact that everybody else is ahead means Santorin isn't controlling the game right away with Requiem. He's now got to catch up, wait for a dive, make sure it goes in with the team, and it's Clutch. We'll have to worry about those windows, but right now I'm sure they're initiating their own fights. 2-0 for Lira, 3-1 for Huni. Bot lane, like you were saying, got assists, but they've been participating in a lot of these as well. Damonte getting a little close under the turret, but he's giving Pobelter a hell of a time here on the Karma. A lot of criticism against this pick, but we'll see if it plays out for the Clutch squad.
Yeah, and I think in this composition it makes more sense, right? You have a fair bit of damage. You have very consistent damage dealer here with the Caitlyn. Because Caitlyn has very long range and will have the protection of multiple members, that is going to be pretty effective. The other thing with the Karma is when you're going into the Karthus, whether the Karthus would have been mid or jungle, the Mantra Shield to actually absorb that Requiem is very, very powerful as an answer. There's so much AoE damage coming out from Karthus, so a well-timed Karma Shield can absorb a tremendous amount of that and really help to mitigate some of that damage.
Bot lane getting some pressure. Lira may come around the back. A nice vision ward is placed in to make sure that Wadid and Turtle will know about it before it happens, but here are a few plates already coming off of this one. Lira looked like he was thinking about it for a second as he teeters back and forth to that part. Gonna go ahead and just grab Scuttle for himself and get out of that situation. A little bit of a pull onto Pobelter. Damonte could have locked him up for that situation, but he was getting Lira in position. They want back onto Damonte here in the mid lane.
I actually really like that play from Pobelter. He steals the Karma ult and then uses the Mantra W for the chain, forcing the flash out of Damonte, because if he actually gets rooted there, he would have very likely gone down. to the damage of Santorin, who would have been able to kind of hit those Skittles for free. So certainly,
Taste the rainbow.
yeah, that's a painful rainbow to taste. Karthus. Don't want
Darker
me to
shade of
much
the
that,
rainbow.
Yeah.
Painful, painful. Just a few more hits on this turret. Nice fog of war, dark binding. Got to be able to play the Morg from out of map vision. That's really the way it sticks with the damage. Santorin slowly coming in. He's clearing wards so they know. Get a little bit of a walk here from Damonte that may not just be for wards.
Yeah, had Santorin not been there, that could have actually been in just a straight up 2v2 kill. They actually had this one ward here over the wall right there that actually did spot Karthus coming over, I do believe. So that is what actually prompted them to go backwards. Otherwise, you hit that binding in a trap, you have ult and ignite on the Morgana. You can flash in and make that a kill. Just not worth going for if you're then going to potentially trade back a couple yourself. So good positioning from Santorin there. That's something that certainly doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but a difference maker in that 2v2 right there.
Over 1,000 gold in the inventories for Damonte. He's at 1,500, 1,100 for Cody Sun, so they're still racking up quite a bit, and they have a few core items to get under their belt now. Looking at the other side of 300, 400s, not too much gold on the side of FlyQuest as they have just recently been back to buy. So the inventories are what you're looking at, or what we're probably going to see our next fight with. Is going to be a Mountain Drake in 3 minutes, or that Rift Herald that just came up on the map. Getting a little less attention, Game 3, though.
Yeah, I think with the 2v2 setup that they have, they feel confident that they can actually just take the 2v2 turret bot. Then they will go top for the Rift Herald. So I think that is why we're seeing this little bit of delay for now. But again, Karthus being called down to bottom lane. They want this additional protection. They know this 2v2 is going so poorly, so they really do need the extra member to help them out. And just going to park their 2v2 bot while jungle and mid moves over to the Rift, but Pobelter is wise to their tricks and will be able to spot that this is going on. Whether or not they can do something about it is another story, but I don't think they need to hard force when bottom lane has only one plate remaining, right? Like, they're winning that 2v2 so heavily.
They push them out on the runaround, too. Bot tries to get out, and then they have to go all the way back around to their turret now as the wave comes in. Shouldn't miss anything, where you can see the intentions of each team wanting to run up river for the fight, and then have to change their idea. Quickness goes down, grand entrance in, no battle dance back just yet, and this is the window they have to watch for. Soul Shackle goes down, nice Black Shield to deny the damage from Requiem coming in, and Clutch Gaming get themselves out of a pretty tricky engage.
Yeah, a lot of summoners being blown there. 3 summoners on the side of FlyQuest, 3 on the side of Clutch. Santorin did commit the ultimate as well, so they really wanted to go all in for that kill. But with that ultimate down, and with lanes pushed out in mid and top, Clutch will grab their classic Rift Herald right here just before 12 minutes. So we'll see if they're going to be able to get that down 4 plates. Lira going to go back and buy. We'll see when he's going to look to drop this, but still pressure happening in this 2v2. So I do like the attempt from FlyQuest. Because they know that they are getting bullied very hard. Their only real chance of defending that turret was getting a kill and then kind of pushing their opponents back. As they weren't able to do that, that turret very likely will be going down here pretty soon.
Let's see what we got for Santorin. 3 harvest stacks. He's getting up there. And a few items under his belt as well. And about 400 gold to spend. So still needs to get a little bit more of those resources in. The Karthus doesn't have that huge impact unless he's just going to go zombie mode soon. Have a great effect for the team. Haven't seen too many ult steals from Pobelter as well. None of these fights have really come together to see how the teams are going to play it, and that becomes one of my favorite parts of the game. It's not just about, hey, I want to test the damage of the Infinity Edge I just bought, but who is actually better right now at this point? So that should be coming up quite soon. We have Drake in 30 seconds as Vision gets put down.
Yeah, and both teams kind of having done their reset. It was actually faster and better buys though from Clutch. You can see Ludens, you can see the IE. When you're kind of just comparing a couple of these different members, right? Across from their opponents. Look at all the completed items, on the side of Clutch versus just parts on the side of FlyQuest. Yeah. So Clutch, assuming good execution, certainly should be winning that Dragon fight in that area. But last game, I believe that to be true as well. And FlyQuest was able to kind of fight their way out of the depths. True.
This turret may not go down just yet with the protection put on it, but a turret plating does fall in 30 seconds. It's already been dropped here in the bot lane, and one more shot coming in from Cody Sun will take it down. They don't know this ward is on it. They haven't been able to get that clear in. Sweeper is alive for Vulcan, and he'll actually head towards the top side. And they may just miss this one. A vision for FlyQuest doesn't seem like it's going to do them much with Santorin on the top side of the map. And that is going to be first turret and Drake going over to the side of Clutch.
Yeah, it won't actually, excuse me as I need to remove that from my heads, but it won't actually be dropping the Rift Herald just yet, so very likely won't be before plates. You know, that has expired now, but they can still look to actually pressure mid lane with this. They will be dropping this in mid lane, going for that turret here. A lot of damage already going to be dealt to this turret, and possibility is there to actually just fully knock it down. It's getting very, very low. It should fall.
A lot of chance for this team to get pushed around by Clutch as they try to take the turrets. Karthus can't really get himself in and make you want to walk away. Wadid could do that, but with Pobelter only there wasn't much defense. So Clutch, knowing their strength at this point, push forward into mid to see how they open up the map. Opening up mid and bot with such a big influx, like you said, just after getting great core items, really going to catapult them in the lead.
It really is, and there's such a clear way to extend it anytime you're playing these Caitlyn siege comps. Now you swap your bot to top, you look for the last outer, you're already, you know, very heavily in the advantage, well over 4,000 gold, pre-15 minutes. You know, Clutch fully in control of this one. Yes, the kill store is close, but when you look at all the objectives, when you look at the farm, this game is very, very in the favor of Clutch right now. 2 dragons to none, 2 towers to none, and a big CS advantage on that bottom side.
So I guess we did have questions coming in. It'd kind of be, is Clutch able to reset their mental? And then a secondary question that still has to come up is Clutch able to finish out the game from that lead? And I think we have an answer to the mental. They seem to be playing like the previous game has not affected them. Yeah, 1 went long, and they got kind of pushed back in 2. But here it seems like they're just playing the way they want to, and we'll have to see if they can control that mid to late game this time around.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I am very curious. You know, can you actually cleanly close out the game, right? You have all the tools to do it. You have a great early game lead. You have the sieging composition with Caitlyn, who's going to be protected by Karma and Morgana. You should be able to very easily get access to the turrets. The Mountain Dragon going to help you to knock those down, as well as take any potential Baron later on. So they have everything they need. And if this team wants to kind of prove to us that they are, you know, as good as a lot of people expected, you know, I had them as perhaps favorites coming into the Gauntlet. A lot of people did.
Absolutely.
Based off of kind of some of their performances and feeling like, hey, maybe they could easily fix some of their draft issues. But if you want to kind of maintain that level of respect that people have been giving them, well, they need to be able to cleanly close out a game like this.
Absolutely. They have a lot of players that have been coming up over the years, but some also that have splashed onto the scene. You think about mid laners, and usually you haven't had too many names into that list in a long time. But Tanner Time is sometimes on the tip of your tongue there now in that conversation. You have a great mid laner into Damonte, and they have the chance to kind of, I believe, like you said, be that team to go all the way through and kind of put a mark on being different, having different engages, different style on that big international stage.
Yeah, certainly the case. You know, a lot of people do often feel that these teams that kind of have more of the X factor with the crazy picks or crazy playstyle would have more of a shot coming in as a lower seed, but they're still a long ways away
Long battle
from making there. If they were even to be able to take this series, there would still be 2 more. And FlyQuest has been matching them blow for blow, but it is Lira looking for an engage.
Nice Feather Storm goes down, raids on Lira's Parade, but he's still going to get yanked back. Will the Thunder clap down? And it does! It comes from the Soul Shackles of Vulcan. They also get a kill onto Wadid as he tries to keep his marksman alive, but it's not going to be enough. Clutch again grabbed down on FlyQuest and their momentum and just continue to squish it. Another wave in mid means the mid turret going down as their buffs are being taken from the jungle.
Yeah, looking really good there. Pobelter trying to get something back on this top side, though.
Got that Karma ult in. Soul Flare comes out. A little bit more damage. And it looks like they'll be able to keep themselves safe in the engage and the retreat here. Great job by Clutch.
Yeah, really nicely done by Clutch. They get a couple kills, they get the tower. Pobelter getting a little bit of pressure for them on the side, but here this is one more time. It's just a great wraparound play here from Lira. Goes to the ultimate. It was a well-timed ulti there from WildTurtle, but flash follow over the Rakan to be able to get that ultimate down. And then it is the Soul Shackles, there's the traps, there's the binding. There's so many tools to lock them in place once they've been grabbed up initially. So this 2v2 bot working out so well for Clutch here. The Leona really did not pay dividends in game number 2. This one is looking great and is adding that extra dynamic to the series where you're now going to have to kind of worry about the potential of this Caitlyn, of this Morgana, you know, and that may lower the priority of something like that Rakan once we've seen how effective this can be.
Santorin just picking up blue. He's still on 3 harvest stacks, trying to get those items built up. aggressed on in the jungle. Lira flying forward on Predator. Oh, he wants Santorin bad. He gets the flash out of it right there. Ult not even up yet. He is just messing with FlyQuest.
Yeah, Santorin just feeling like he had to retreat there. And you know, even without the ult, if you get stunned up and a binding follows it, you're going to die. You are so squishy on this Karthus. The only defensive stat he has whatsoever is a little bit of health from the Oblivion Orb, which is not going to keep you too safe. But he has hit level 11, so important mark there for the Karthus. Has double spell pen, so a fair bit of burst potential is possible from him. And Karthus scales incredibly well into that late game, so that is something that they can hope to fall back on, but not when the gold lead keeps extending like this. You know, they have now lost 4 towers. They have not really even threatened any of the clutch turrets whatsoever. It's 3 dragons to 0, so Baron's going to be coming up on the map here pretty shortly, and that puts FlyQuest in a position where you are really close to losing the game. I mean, you give an early Baron over to a team that has this big of a lead in Caitlyn, they might just walk down and just siege you there.
Absolutely, especially the fact that you don't really have a team where anyone can safely clear Baroned up minions. You have to have Turtle pretty close up there to start getting the wave, so everybody on the AP side of things is really not going to be having fun if that comes to it. Level 13 here for Huni. He's still up against Viper, level 13 there. These guys have been playing great towards the top side. 0-0-3 for Viper on his 3rd game of Aatrox, a 3-1-0 for Huni as he continues to roll around unique picks for this game on Gnar this time.
Yeah, it's the first time we've seen Gnar in a while in NA. You know, it is a pick that had been gaining a little bit of popularity in solo queue and kind of getting used a bit more here and there around the world. So certainly showing that it can still be very powerful. You know, is able to be a pick that is fairly safe, that has the ability to constantly push in their opponents and, you know, not necessarily just dominate the lane and run them over, but to kind of have that pressure, which when you're pairing that up aside 2 other pushing lanes, it really limits the options, right? You know, Karthus is not a good ganking jungler at the best of times. When all your lanes are shoved in, it's very hard to find angles to really be successful.
So what do we get here? Does Monte go bot? Everybody focuses top. Tons of wards bot, and then I can get Damonte to teleport. How do we think FlyQuest, or Clutches rather, is going to play this out?
Yeah, I certainly think that is possible. You know, send your teleport bot, but at the same time, you know, you can just have him grouped up. You know, utilizing this kind of 4-man squad of the Skarner, Karma, Morgana, and Caitlyn is very, very powerful. You have speed up and the shield from the Karma. You have the black shield protection there. For the Morgana, they can use that in combination with the Skarner, Righteous Glory to try to get a really quick engage, or to protect if you were getting engaged upon. And you can see how much priority there is actually on speed here for Lira, right? Righteous Glory, and he actually went Swifty Boots. So this is all about zooming in, looking for the engage, and also reducing the slow of the Wall of Pain, because you know you're going to have to be running through that Wall of Pain, and that is going to be a little bit annoying. The Q slow as well from Sylas, so he wants to get in there. Knows he's the primary engage, knows he's in a great position to start these fights off. So he's going to be looking to kind of prioritize that, but he is pretty far up here himself.
A quick move there, fancy feet on the Scorp as he gets out of the grand entrance of Wadid on that initiation. The rest of the Clutch are just putting wards down everywhere. They have this light bright security system just bringing vision to all of FlyQuest jungle, trying to get through the team here. Possible catch onto Santorin or anybody, but they get under the turret too quick. And Predatoring in out, trying to find one of these ganks is what Lira is going to be doing. And he gets the Skarner, and this is what we expect from Clutch in the games that are ahead.
I mean, the lights are just getting shut out completely. If we could actually toggle over to FlyQuest vision, they don't see much of anything.
I don't like the dark.
This is very, very scary for them. And, oh, they're going to get rooted up.
Oh, wow. I thought Wadid was actually going to make it in, but he dies trying to go for the grand entrance just after the quickness. Featherstorm goes down as a black, or the binding goes over, the dark binding goes over to hit Turtle and the rest of the team, and now they're going to get themselves at that top side. You can see the ult stolen over there onto Soul Shackle, so Pobelter's going to have to get himself into the fight to make that one work. It doesn't really deter Clutch from doing too much, as they're still on the outside of the base to take these turrets down.
Yeah, just in such a good spot at this point, right? You know, that was actually just straight up a trap that Wadid just walked into. They saw the binding go over the wall, felt that they might have been safe to move forward, but if you get hit by any of this CC, and you don't have a QSS, you will die, because the follow-up will always be there with this Clutch lineup. So they get that kill, they force the ultimate off of Turtle, and that puts them in a position where, you know, FlyQuest knows they can do nothing but just kind of back up and sacrifice another outer tower here. Now 5-0 is that tower score, 8,000 plus is the gold lead, and they are looking really, really good. Cody Sun even feeling like he has enough kind of breathing room to go back towards a Maw here, you know, not going for that third Zeal item. He's building purely for that, as he seems to feel that really the only way he's going to go down is being burst down from Pobelter, Wadid, and Santorin. And that kind of combination, he feels that the rest of his team can keep him safe from WildTurtle and from Viper. And I think, you know, when you are this far ahead, it's totally fine to kind of make a pit stop for an item like that, because he's going to have such high consistent damage anyway.
Yep.
I don't think he necessarily needs to rush to that third Zeal.
The return on investment of staying alive is worth it, very much so. Huni gets his resistances shredded a little by the wall of pain, but he gets out safety. He's still Mega Gnar. Turtle's getting some safety, as you see Wadid flying around. Turtle gets hit by a few headshots in a row, and that means he's out of the fight. Summoners are up there, but they have to be careful, as Clutch is getting very close to the base now and are determined to keep going. They really haven't stopped here on this push. It looks much better than the other games. At 20 to 25 minutes is when they started losing ground to FlyQuest and seeing troubles. It seems like they still have a method to their madness at this point. Now split across the map, and it is going to be Damonte taking that solo lane to himself.
Yep, they grab another turret here. That headshot you saw, and the Turtle really sends it back to base. Lira is soloing up the Mountain Dragon, so double Mountain now. The threat of Baron becomes that much bigger here for this team.
It's almost impossible. You have double Mountain on Caitlyn. You have a rapid fire. You just wait for her to walk around a bunch and keep putting shots onto the turret.
Yeah.
You force the other team to engage you.
Exactly. You can play around the cooldowns of Black Shield as well, right? You know, you can actually just pop the Black Shield on the Caitlyn, let Caitlyn go forward, shoot the tower a couple times, then back off, wait for the Black Shield cooldown, rinse and repeat, you know, each wave there. And certainly they have all the tools in their hands. We'll see if FlyQuest can kind of pull the rabbit out of the hat and try to find some way around this to either knock off a Black Shield immediately with Karthus damage and then find the engage, or something along those lines. But you know, Clutch now has knocked down the last of the outer towers, so it does get harder for them. It's much more dangerous to siege now up at that inhibitor.
And we're still waiting for the Sylas Gnarl. Just cuz.
Oh my god. That was one auto.
One auto. I was also looking at the inventories. A lot of gold to be picked up there by FlyQuest would mean a lot of core items in their inventories if they're able to even get this fight. But those bounties also spell how ahead Clutch is in this game and just how hard they've been pushing this advantage. Viper now do a little pruning on the bottom wave, as Huni has been relentless in this lane. Top is not being coordinated just yet, as the rest of the Clutch team is in mid. Looks like they'll start to get a little love and vision around that Baron, though, to see if they can get FlyQuest to react outside their base.
Yeah, Clutch trying to kind of bait them in, but because there's still wards on the Baron, unlikely that's going to happen.
Right.
You know, Pobelter potentially trying to set up a flank if someone face check that ward. Woo! Oh, they're going in.
Oh, he's going to be on Damonte, too. Santorin gets a hit quickly from Vulcan. Vulcan's now out of the Zanyas and Soul Shackles, and they're going to be going out of Pobelter, knowing that's a lot of the DPS, but they can still take down Santorin on the top side of the fight. They're just playing with their food right now as they can assess what they need to take and what they can walk away from. Requiem doesn't even tickle Huni on that one, and they're going to be heading for the Baron.
Yeah, they're building so much to counter this AoE damage. Not only do they have the Karma Shields, they actually have a Locket here, and they're now going for Turtle.
Just when you thought the fight was over, both ultimates coming in from the Lovers duo bot lane. Turtle and Wadid try to get out of this one. Turtle steps around for a few autos to see if he can pick up another stun on the feather drawback, but it's going to cost him his life, and now Wadid is on Mission Impossible. Huni will take this one as the rest of the team takes time for Baron.
Yeah, they're going to be right onto Baron here. This three-man squad will be supported by the Skarner, and this is not a fight that Wadid can win. And with that frozen mallet, going to be so hard to get away. He knows he's not getting out of there.
Vulcan doing a great job of the rest of the team. Wadid going down on the bot side. And the support wars go down. Pobelter's
don't know that he wanted that one.
Through. Uh-oh. Could he get slowed here? Cody Sun's going to get in for a quick bit of damage. He tries to get the Kingslayer in, but it's not enough health, and Pobelter goes down for another 50 seconds on the clock.
I mean, he just died and then teleported back.
Kobe might have
Baron was about to go down. Yeah, I might say that teleport sucked. As Pobelter going to go here over the back wall, but Damonte and Cody Sun easily able to actually knock him down, you know, straight into that root, the trap follow-up, and he has nowhere to go. Santorin gets knocked down, the rest of the team sent packing. Look at this Locket, the Black Shield, the Karma Shield. The Karthus ult doesn't do anything.
Wild, looking awesome right now for Clutch. I'm sure the fans are digging this one, but Azael, the way the last game went, I feel like game 4 can go the same way. FlyQuest gets a good start, and it's a run for them. Both of these teams are so evenly matched at that even goal point, but such a disparity if there does become a goal discrepancy.
Yeah, both teams, these last 2 games have been fairly dominant. We have seen their ability to close out the games. We'll see if Clutch can do that here. They have everything they need to close out the game on this Red Bull Baron power play here. 29 minutes in, Caitlyn looking to siege.
Skarner ult onto Pobelter, eyes as well on to Turtle. He's just hovering the mid inhibitor above it. Lira's in and out. The Righteous Glory goes down for him as he tries to get a bit of movement speed. They say we can go on to Huni. The inside track towards mid lane. We might lose the inhibitor, but have a chance at a 5v4. Nothing done to Huni, but more than 100 HP that he gets back almost immediately as they put more damage down onto the inhibitor turret. And they're not able to do too much as they continue to lose these structures inside their base. Deja vu from the way it happened as well from FlyQuest to Clutch last game. They took the same 2 and then continued the base a little bit later.
Yeah, and it looks like they actually are resetting a little bit. Damonte is actually going to TP up the top, so they do want to try to rush for that triple inhib. A little bit of hesitation on which way they are going to go. You can see assist pings down towards that middle lane. So Huni, it looks like he was wanting to push out the middle lane, continue that pressure with the super minions. Yep. Perhaps the call is, do we end or do we go for the 3rd inhib? They are now going for that 3rd inhib.
Got to be how careful they go for it before they have minions in the base. Now mid lane is getting its resources. A little bit of cavalry has arrived, but it has not reached the Nexus turrets just yet. Wadid on the outside gets seen by the Vision Ward, so he cannot get a pincer in from that ultimate of the quickness. And it's going to be all 3 inhibitors very methodically done. Lira goes in. It's a double. Skarner Impale. Who comes out bigger on this one? Lira stays alive. Pobelter now getting himself to safety as that's going to be Lira going down. Now they're on to Viper as they sink their fangs into him and he goes down. Pobelter's now trying to run for the hills. Clutch looking to bring us to a game 4. With them in the lead on game point, and they get stopped a little short of the Nexus turrets. Both have taken just about the same amount of damage, but they're not done yet. FlyQuest on the Iron Lung, and the Requiem is thrown down by Santorin with the last bit of mana he has. The Fountain just behind him, but he's doing again with auto attacks to keep the Nexus alive. Nobody's hitting the Nexus. Clutch wants the kills, but they're also getting pushed back now. There's the Gnar ultimate from Huni. They're gonna clean up the rest of their food and get the dessert of game number 4.
Clutch Gaming moving to match point here. Cody Sun with the triple kill to finish it out. 7 kills for Cody Sun, 7 kills there for Huni. And that was a dominant game number 3. So very back and forth game number 1. Longest game we had of this split. Dominant game number 2 for FlyQuest. Dominant game number 3 here for Clutch now. And we'll see if it is going to be continuing this back and forth battle or if Clutch can close this one out because they really did look good in this one.
It was fantastic. Question number 2 was answered. Does the mid game flow into the final portion and the Nexus? It did. Clutch did not hesitate that time. And FlyQuest, as Clutch thought, ThinkHard was like, yeah, they're going to play late. And if Clutch let Karthus get big, if you let the rest of this team get big, they were going to run into troubles again on the side of Clutch.
Yeah, they definitely would have. But I mean, I think not only did they play well around a Karthus, they itemized well around it. Their early lock, the Karma shields, the Morgana shields. It didn't feel like Santorin was doing anything in these fights.
Couldn't get it done. For more on how Clutch brought this to match point, let's head back to the State Farm analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Riv. Match point it is in favor of Clutch Gaming here with the series score now sitting at 2-1. Hopping over to the blue side, the first time this team would do it in the best of 5. I want to take a look at how this changed up champion select for both of these squads. First pick, Skarner.
Who cares about that, James? They won without GP.
They did.
Gauntlet Rumble. It happened. They finally did it. 1-7 now.
Woo!
I'm still confused by the Skarner. But it is true that they won without it, and they had a different comp. They had the siege style with
I
Karma.
think it's kind of what I was saying in the previous game, where it's like, well, what is the first pick of this series? What's the power pick that you want here? You could say it's the Qiyana, but they know Pobelter's not going to take that away, so they can probably hold on that pick and say, if it's a good situation for it, we'll play it, but we don't need to snap grab it. So they take the Skarner, and then they didn't go to split up the Xayah Rakan because they play the counters, like I was saying earlier as well. So they just take Morgana Caitlyn, which becomes the core of their comp.
And to be fair to the Skarner pick, it is a hugely impactful champion for Lira in particular.
And Santorin, it was contested as well.
Exactly, contested in the second game, and so therefore you can see it rising in priority a bit, isolated within this best of 5. Also of note, though, FlyQuest does go for the 1-2 takeaway of the Xayah Rakan, which they had been attempting to disrupt from the blue side. And then the response, of course, is the hard counter of the Caitlyn Morgana in the bot lane. And that's where a lot of the advantages for Clutch Gaming would come, just the sheer outlaning in the 2v2. By the Caitlyn Morgana.
And it's further emphasized by the fact that FlyQuest's jungler is useless in helping that out. Karthus will do nothing against a Caitlyn Morgana lane except just walk and Q, and that's about it. But we actually did get a party at the bottom lane pretty early on.
It should be useless, but they did manage to make
They got a
one
little
play.
something.
This was early on.
And this is like a whole team. Everyone's going to come in. The only person not involved in this play is going to be the Skarner as everyone TPs. It's a nice idea because, like I'm saying, the core of this comp is the Caitlyn Morgana. You want to protect it and make sure it doesn't get blown out through ganks, and so they double TP behind to try and find a positive back. It unfortunately really does backfire and base them into a 4-for-2 inside of FlyQuest.
I think you do have to take note, though, of where those kills went. We saw the double kill picked up by Huni there, so just acknowledge how much gold went into his pockets, because then it's going to enable him to make plays like this. We love Huni with a playmaker in his hands. Gets that little hop and the flash away after the kill, Triumph Heal coming in. That was big for Huni, and a lot of it as a result of being able to get down to the bot lane and pick up that extra gold.
Yeah, and that's when they start having their groove and they still go for this Rift Herald play. What I find interesting is 2 games in a row, FlyQuest has ignored contesting the Rift Herald and went for a weak side play on the other end of the map, which I like the idea. It's showing another way of dealing with that kind of obvious Rift Herald play without a heads-on confrontation.
Right, you don't have to always go there. You can look elsewhere.
Yeah, but the problem was Santorin wasn't actually in position for it. He just pressed Karthus R, which means it comes up short, and then Clutch continued this siege comp against a team with no real engage options.
When you're a team that has been struggling all split long with making plays happen, I know Karthus sounds like a good bandage, but it really just further emphasizes the problem that not a single player is willing to be the one to sacrifice themselves and make the play, and it just lets Lira walk all over them like he's doing with that pineapple. Just straight up in there, give me that Xayah.
This was a Clutch, though, that even while there was some craziness in the early game, felt much more like they were in the driver's seat. That they had the understanding that the Caitlyn and the Morgana was really the 2 pieces of the puzzle that needed to get off the ground. And if they just let them, win that bot lane and rotate those advantages elsewhere, we saw, 26K to 22K in terms of gold differential pretty early on in the game. And that's going to feel good for Clutch. And they are a team that, once again, knows how to close from a position like that.
Yeah, and they had the Karma, which I think a lot of people probably groaned.
We groaned. We even groaned when we saw it.
We
did boo.
But it made sense.
It did, actually.
When you look at it, you're into a comp with no way of really getting engages off. They have this big AoE magic damage that you heard Azael talking about, and so it offers protection versus that. It lets your siege, which is how you're going to win this game, be even safer. You have even more poke available. The only engage is the squishy Rakan, and you have the Black Shield ready to go. So as long as you Black Shield that first engage, people are going to get destroyed for missing that.
I much prefer it in the mid lane, as we said. We like to see Huni on things in that can actually impact the map, like that Gnar from the top lane. So yes, in the mid lane, yes, supporting the Caitlyn as the main win condition, and ultimately the team's goals in terms of knocking down those turrets and taking it home for the W. So here they are, 2-1 in favor of Clutch Gaming. They just got to put one more together to take it on to tomorrow against CLG. For FlyQuest, though, now they have to answer 2 back. So how do they do it?
So we're going to start with the fact that this could be their last game of the year. So you should have a lot of momentum, thinking we need to play our hearts out because we don't want to go home. We don't want to have a long break. And then you're going over to the blue side. So you can ban Qiyana, you can ban the Rumble, you can ban the GP, and not get yourself into that precarious position of Xayah Rakan against Morgana Kate.
Yeah, and play comfort. I think a lot of people like to go back to comfort. We heard CLG saying that's mostly what they went for in their 5th game versus Clutch. So if you want to start moving your way back, get your best champions for your best players.
All right, there
Riven.
Yes, I just want to see the Riven. Please let me have it. On the other side of the break, though, FlyQuest and Clutch, they clash once more for Game 4.